Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Carpo here. I'm just relaxing after a day of work, and I decided to come make a video. What that video is going to be about is yet to be determined. Let me think for a minute. I have so many different ideas that I like to express, and I've been listening to some very interesting things lately. You know what I'd like to talk about? It's the book of Urantia. Now, if you haven't heard of the book of Urantia, and thanks to Eric for mentioning that, because I'd heard of it before, but I'd never actually, been interested in reading it. It's like a 1900-page Bible, basically, that was written in the 30s. It was translated by supposedly a channeler, which the guy wasn't a channeler. But he started channeling, so they used him. I haven't looked at the details of it, but the fact is that I've heard over like 10 years of channeling, they wrote this book. And it's, one might call it the New Testament, the New Testament of Jesus, but like the scientific Jesus, I guess, in a way. But it's very interesting because I'm not, before I go into this, I'm not saying I believe in it or that it's true. But I obviously don't have the time to read an 1,800-page book like that. I mean, I've tried to read even the Bible itself, and that's, I get through a part and set it aside. But I was fascinated by the idea of having a scientific explanation of the universe. And this thing is very detailed. It explains, not that it's true, but it explains, hypothetically, if you will, but there's basically all these different masters and ascended masters and angels, and this is where a lot of this stuff comes from. And what I've been wanting to do is get to the root of where all this modern New Age stuff comes from, because a lot of it's taken from ancient times, ancient ideas, but a lot of it isn't. A lot of it's like very supposedly factual stuff about these ascended masters and these particular archangels and stuff. And so I think that a lot of them get this from this book. And I downloaded the audiobook, and it's long. I mean, really long. And I put it on my iPod. And so once in a while, it comes up on my MP3 player, like randomly, and I'll listen to a chapter. They're like an hour long each. And it's so damn technical that I can't even listen to it for more than like 10 minutes before my mind's just like, what? Okay, whatever. It lays out this idea that there are these seven universes, or 7 layers within the universe, and that it explains the actual age of everything, the age of these beings, and the age of the planet, the age of the universe. They even label the number of the stars, the number of galaxies in each cluster, all that kind of stuff. And my question is this: if it is fake, and if it is bunk, and I'm not, let's say that the guy who did it was bullshit, it was all bunk, or maybe these guys got together and wrote this thing. If you listen to part of it, you're just like, who would come up with such a crazy notion? But the way it's explained is the most interesting part to me, because the way it's spoken is very modern. I mean, so you can understand it. I mean, it's very, very good English. And what is it? Where do these things come from? Where do these books come from? There have been, who knows which books of various religious texts, sacred texts, how many of them were channeled, if not channeled, perhaps, perhaps somebody just wrote it as a story, and or a parable. It became a book. I don't know how these things work. It just fascinates me, though, and I'm going to continue on this Urantian thing, and if anybody else is interested, just check it out and listen to part of it. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Just listen to a clip from it. It's so weird. I mean, it's just so, like, let me put it this way. If it is true, I don't want to read it because it's too detailed of an explanation of everything. And nothing ever gets to the root cause, of course, of what was the first thing and how did it start. I mean, these are the questions that we ask. You can break it down to what is God and who is a messenger of God and all these things, but in the end you come up to the same question that we all face. And this is why I don't believe that anyone can understand the full comprehension, because you can't understand how it began if it never began, or how it could be always there or existing. I mean, that shit just blows me away. It's like when people say we were created by aliens. I'm like, let's say that's true. Let's say they altered our DNA, whatever. If it is true, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. It just means that somebody created those aliens. Oh, maybe they were genetically created. Maybe, but originally there was an original creature. And a lot of folks believe that's Adam and Eve, and that's their choice to believe. I think that Adam and Eve may have been, I don't believe that they were actually, just two humans created by God to, multiply. I believe that they had a place in history that we don't understand. But, that's a different story. Anyway, Book of Urantia is weird. Check it out.